All right. There we go. There we go. Is everything working? Yep. All right, nice. Whew. Okay, so today we're not gonna play, but we're just bring at least the Blurple deck, but maybe we're playing. I mean, maybe we're building more, but I think we're probably only doing the Blurple deck for now. We'll see. We'll see how long this one takes. Anyways, I'm using Lorcana.gg. This one has the most recent uh, spoilers, and they have the best deck builder of the sites that have the most recent spoilers. So yeah, I'm using Lorcana.gg for now. When the spoilers get on Dreamborn, I'm obviously using Dreamborn. Dreamborn is way better, but for now, this fits. This is okay. So I've selected already every set 5 card I might want to play, and obviously I'm not sure about the numbers, but these are the set 5 cards I might want to play in Blurple. So let's talk about them first before I start, you know, going through the normal cards or the cards we used to play. So Tipo is a new one jump ahead, but it goes from your hand instead of the top of your deck. Um, this is okay, um, but this effect is okay. It's not better than like the effect of Wonder Woman is obviously better than the effect of Tipo, but I think it being on a body is relevant for meta mims if you want to, for crabs, and maybe even requesting, right? Or like yeah, let's say you bounce it and then you ink it yourself. I'm not gonna I'm gonna stop playing One Jump Head and play Tipo instead. The reason, another reason is it can't get gotcha'd by Ursula. Ursula 2, because it's not a song, it's a character. So it also can't be taken by Bare Necessities. Um, and it's inkable. So it's for our deck, I would say with the amount of card draw we have, I'm pretty sure we can handle the extra ink from our hand instead of from the top of our deck. Not 100% sure, but I would say that is my current view. And it also saves us some inkables. So I think that's nice. Obviously, it doesn't always fit the curve, so sometimes you don't want to, and then you can just ink it, right? Because it's too cost, or you can keep it for later. Um, yeah, so for me, Tipo is definitely the play. Um, then Magica is, I think, a two off, maybe a one off. It kind of depends on how big Ember Steel gets, or like a new discard deck. I think, yeah, I think it's good against like Honeworld, but it might not be good enough. So I'm not completely sure, but right now, I think the effect against Honeworld is just way too good. And I'm pretty sure discard decks will still exist, like yellow green, for example, because they didn't play Bucky at all, anyways. So yeah, they're only getting better with like mirror, like the mirror maybe they play the mirror, maybe they play like new cards from this set, maybe Naveen, for example. So yeah, I think Magica works with that. Then we have Madam Elephant. I think this card just seems way too good for Steel, against Steel, and it's just more bounce, and I like more bounce in the deck that plays Rabbit. And I mean, it's also pretty good with Mickey Mouse, right? I mean, on turn 7 or when you have 7 ink at least, you can play it, bounce Mickey, play Mickey again. Yeah, it's okay. Like you rather want bigger stuff, but it's not that bad. It obviously dies to Medusa with the 3 attack, but it's a 4 cost, so that's fine. And maybe in that matchup you just ink it or you keep it for the rabbit. Then Elsa is an expensive version of Pinocchio, in my opinion, but it also one-shots Diablos. Uh, And we can play it on turn 4 if we played Tipo, or on turn 4 if we played Mickey. And I would say that it's very likely that you have one of the 4 Tipos or 4 Mickeys, so you can play the Elsa on turn 4. You can also quest with it afterward because it has evasive, and it's inkable. It's another inkable version of Pinocchio, so we switch an uninkable for an inkable. Obviously, it has some downsides compared to Pinocchio, but the other like good part about Elsa is that it has Rush herself, so you don't need to have other characters. And for Pinocchio, you did need to have other characters. So Elsa can be quite good in that regard. I have it at 3 right now. It might get to 2, but because it's inkable, it's a little bit better to have in multiples anyway. It's okay to have in multiples anyway. So yeah. Then for now, I have 3 Cusco. I think putting items or locations into their inkwell is really good, especially their like items when you play against like blue steel, blue red, and you can put their lucky dime into their inkwell. That's insane, right? So from they can't get it back from Tamatawa, and it grants you the ability to give resist to a lot of characters. To all your characters multiple times in one turn instead of just granting it passively versus Cogsworth. I think that combination makes it better than Cogsworth in this deck. We don't really care that much about Cogsworth having Ward in our deck versus the blue steel deck, where they definitely want to keep playing Cogsworth because it has Ward, and then they can sing whole new world with it. And yeah, we didn't really care. We cared more about the resist. And yeah, this is just a better body. It's a turn later, but that's okay. We can you spend our turn 4 after we played our Mickey to bounce Mickey and play it again, or to play a rabbit and then use our turn 5 to play the Cusco. So that's okay. Then yeah, obviously Berlin is our newest toy. I thought it was a super rare, but apparently it is legendary. That's a little bit unfortunate. I thought it was a super rare, but okay. So it is. It's gonna be. It might be expensive money wise, but that's okay. So it's a 6 on Inkable. So we're adding 4 more on Inkable. That's a little bit unfortunate, but yeah, I would say the shift ability granting you the ability to put a card from your deck into your hand without even revealing it is just too insane. Um, yeah, so that's kind of why our deck is probably gonna be very good. If it's gonna be good, it's because of the Merlin. So I really like the Merlin. Um, yeah, definitely the reason I'm gonna try this first out of every deck. Also because I just love um, Blurple, and now with Bucky gone, it's much better. Then, so uh, this one is in French, but this Anna is the one that exerts all your opponent's characters when you play it. So I'm playing it as a one-off for the Merlin. If we have enough characters on board, and next turn we want, or the same turn, but most likely next turn, after we shifted the Merlin to play it and kill all their characters. The idea is that it's basically our Be Prepared. It's not better than Be Prepared, it's obviously much worse, but it has the upside that it doesn't kill our own characters, and if we have enough characters on board to kill their characters, then the Anna really helps. I would only play it as one of to get with Merlin. Drawing it is okay, but drawing too many of them is probably not good. Unless like we notice that when testing, that's the good part about having a tutor. While testing, you can see, okay, this card is overperforming a lot. Maybe I want to play more of just to draw them in general and not to yeah, to just tutor them only. So yeah, Diana, I would currently only play one, but it might be good. And then Mufasa, I mean Mufasa just adds so much value. Um, I think it's a really good card, and I'm definitely gonna play two of. I think two of is good enough, but we might just want to play three. Depends on how much uninkables we have when we add the cards from set four and stuff. But yeah, right now those are the only cards that I would consider. This Merlin is not good enough. Doesn't draw us cards. I'd rather play Goat or Rabbit any day of the week. Then the genie, I don't think is good enough. We can't exert it ourselves. For example, like Elsa exerts their characters, Anna exerts their characters, our own Elsa exerts their characters. So yeah, it would take us some time, like an extra turn to exert it. And obviously it's good in combination with Anna, but Anna itself is probably already good enough anyway. So yeah, we don't need that. Um, I'm not completely sure what this one does, but it's you don't need to shift it, especially on turn four. If you turn four shift Anna, you don't really have the manpower on your own board to kill your opponent's characters, even against an aggro deck. Camilo Madrigal is an interesting one. We might try it out, like when testing next set, because we have Merlin as a tutor. We can always get it if we want to test it out in that situation. However, I think that it is too unreliable against red decks to actively play multiples of, so you would only play it as a one-off, and we don't have that much space for one-offs, even though it's inkable, obviously. So I would rather play one-offs that are very impactful, and I'm not sure Camilo fits that bill, because you'll need you kind of want to play it on the same turn you shift it, you drew it from the Merlin, right? So need to have 11 ink, and then you just have to hope it doesn't die to Medusa if you're playing against red. And if you're not playing against red, you probably have better targets. So yeah. Um, so yeah, that's all the purple cards like you could consider. Um, this Merlin is obviously funny, but it doesn't give us anything. We're not playing Arthurs. The ability says that it gives every Arthur character resist one, so that's not relevant. Um, so Chica, although we do ramp, it's mostly only in the early few turns, and it is basically like with Mickey, and then if Mickey survives and we have time to bounce our Mickey and play it again, that's when we ink for the second time. I would basically only play this card in a Fishbone Quill deck, and we are not currently not a Fishbone Quill deck, so that's a no. Then I think that's it for all the cards. Yeah, for all the set 5 cards that are even at all playable in the colors. All right, so let's go to set 1. So these are promos, so we can ignore these and grab our cards that we want from set 1. So the card we definitely want still is Elsa, and I'm normal blue. Yeah, normal Blurple plays two Elsa. I think I'm gonna stick with that, but it might go down to one off. However, because currently we do play this one, we can always we can finally use it as a shift, even though that might not be the best idea ever, especially if we used Elsa to attack a character, but it could if we need to, right? If we need it for the effect. Okay, actually Elsa can exert our own genie, but probably not. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like you're not playing Elsa and genie in the same turn. Okay, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, Elsa is basically your permanent removal. Well, it's your removal for 2 turns, kind of. Um, unless that character has a passive ability that's very important, like Diablo or Beast. But it allows like against aggro decks or otherwise in like situations where you need to be the more control deck. It allows you to be to have the advantage to get some time, especially if you can quest with it, bounce it, play it, quest with it, bounce it, play it, stuff like that. Like those turns are just really good with Elsa, so I really like her. And 2-off, we're currently playing 2-off in set. Like we played 2-off in set 3. We're playing 2-off in set 4. So I'm just keeping it at 2-off in set 5. But it might go down to a 1-off with Merlin. Um, right. I want to talk about Maleficent. So right now, I don't think we need to play Maleficent. You didn't play it anymore, anyways. I don't think we ever really played it in set 3. Definitely not in set 4. So yeah, no Maleficent anymore, or well, never. Um, but you could play it if you want to, if you want more card draw. Especially with discard being less common, it's even worse. And we're definitely playing 4 friends. It's just needed. Just a really good card. All right, then the blue set 1 cards. You could play a one of Bell, but yeah, I wouldn't myself. You like the idea is that you can get it from Merlin, but then you kind of want to play it the same turn that you shifted. If you didn't, then you play it the next turn, and then it has to survive again. Then you need enough cards in your hands to actually use it for the 10. Otherwise, it just rams 1, but that is not good enough, I think, to get it from the Merlin. Like getting a card from the Merlin, you really want a good card that you can either use immediately or next turn and guarantee a very big advantage. A card like that is Hades. However, I think instead of 2-off, instead of 1-off, we're still playing a 2-off, just like in set 4. Yo, why Breezy? Thank you for the follow. Um, Yeah, so as I was saying, Hades has been a 2-off or sometimes even a 3-off since Set 2, basically, when Blurple was kind of like sometimes played, but it was mostly a Set 3 deck, obviously, and it's been a 2-off ever since. It's basically our hard removal, and I would definitely play 2, but maybe you can only play 1 because we're also gonna play a Let It Go, which is different from before. But the reason we're playing Let It Go, I'll talk about that later when we actually get to it. It's also set 1 card, so we'll get there like almost now. Um, Obviously Mickey is our bread and butter. It's one of the one of, if not the most used reason to play blue in the purple deck. Obviously, now that we have Merlin, that's the second reason why we play blue in Blurple instead of going yellow or whatever. But yeah, playing Mickey, bouncing Mickey, that's kind of our thing. You definitely always want to play 4. Never play less than 4 in Blurple, I would say. Okay, we used to play in set 3, we used to play Robin Hood, but I don't think we can anymore. I think we have just better cards late game now. Um, yeah, it was a fun card to play. Like people definitely didn't expect it in set 3, and it actually did work because it didn't get killed by Medusa. And sometimes it can draw cards, but yeah, right now we have with the new cards we get like the Merlins on 6. Oh no, well you only want to play it as a shift obviously, but like the Mufasa and yeah, we just have less space, and I think even if, especially if you want to go down to 60 cards, even though that's most of the time not what you're playing in Blurple, most of the time you're playing a little bit more, then Robin Hood just doesn't fit anymore. All right, and now we're going to Let It Go. So I'm playing one Let It Go because it's like a panic button for the Merlin shift. So you can shift Merlin, then immediately grab Let It Go, and immediately sing Let It Go with Merlin. That's why it's a really good one-off. I would not play more because otherwise, like we have Hades. Hades is better if we can like play it. But most of like if you shift Merlin, especially early game, like let's say you're playing in the aggro deck or they have a Diablo you can't answer, you can shift the Merlin and then play Let It Go and kill their character, right? I think one-off is good enough. I would not play more because we never did, and the one-off is the only reason. Like the Merlin and the one-off is the only reason why we're playing it now. So I'm not no longer playing one jump ads. We used to, but I think Tipo kind of fills that void. Obviously, it's Tipos from your hand and not from your deck, but the inkability of Tipo is just way too good. So I would play the Tipo instead. But it might be true that after testing we find that one jump is just better, and we need to maybe shift around some inkables or play more cards, more than 60 or more than 67 or 63 or how many cards you play, uh, just to grab the uninkable rating. Because right now we're already at 15 and we still have some uninkables to go, at least four for the rabbits, right? All right, that's all set one card. Let's go to set two. Woo. All right. So the set two is obviously our main package, which is 4 Fox, which is our best bounce card, I would say, because it can immediately kill things. 4 Snakes. I would play 4 because your best play basically is turn 3 Mickey Mouse, turn 4 Quest with, or turn 4 Sing Friends with Mickey Mouse, and then or Quest, but Sing Friends is the best, and then snaking the Mickey Mouse and playing it again. That's your best turn 4 play. So keep the snakes for that, and obviously you can keep the snakes for the rabbits because we're playing 4 rabbits and I think 4 goats, but that might change if we need space. Because goats might not no longer be completely necessary. However, because it's a Merlin, I think we'll still play 4 because you just want to be able to shift Merlin every game, right? And I'm also playing 2 crab. We obviously don't have any hard removal in our deck except for Let It Go. And yeah, I think except for like the one of Let It Go and the 2 of Hades, and the Merlin kind of helps you kill things, and it might also be pretty good with the new Anna if you can like kill like trade as like let's say they have a Smee or something, you can kill the Merlin with like kill a Smee with the Merlin crab, give something else +3 attack, kill something else with the Merlin. Uh, or well, with the crab infused thing, like for example a goat or a rabbit, or even a Mickey or a Tipo, right? Also, Tipo plus like Tipo already did a thing. Then on turn 3 you play Merlin, crab. If they play an aggro deck, for example, then you kill something with Tipo. That's kind of nice. All right, we played 4 goats, 4 rabbit. That this is your draw engine. This gives you a lot of end game reach. Obviously, we play now 4 snakes, 4 fox, 2 elephants, which is the new one. So yeah, bouncing is very nice. I'm gonna put in 2 Manamim Dragon, which is something we played in set 3. I'm not completely sure if it still fits. Obviously, we play a lot more high cost characters now, but it fits. It's such a good card with Mufasa that I think playing 2 could be okay. Um, because you kind of want, if you have the board state, you kind of want Metamim and Mufasa in your hand, so you can play Mufasa and next turn abuse the Metamim, especially if you can like bounce your Merlin and like shift Merlin again, something like stuff like that. So and it's just a very good finisher. However, with Ember Steel rising, and if they play more World's Greatest Criminal Mind, then Purple Dragon becomes a lot worse because it's literally their only target in the whole deck. Nothing else has more than four. Like Manam has four, the rest has and this has four, right? These have four, the rest has three, but Manam is our only target for World's Greatest Criminal Mind. So if Ember Steel becomes like a 30% meta deck or something, then we don't play any purple dragons at all. Or maybe only one, and then we can get it from the Merlin. But right now, I think two is the classic. So I'm putting two in now, and then we see how much space we have. All right. So our normal draw engine used to be topped up with Isma, also as a secondary heart removal. Obviously, it gives your opponents two cards, but sometimes that's just worth it. Um, I still like it. It can just shuffle in your rabbit, allowing you to draw three cards. It can shuffle in your Mickey Mouse or your Tipo to draw two cards and like basically shuffle in a card that you no longer need. Um, yeah, so it's a good draw engine. It might go down to two depending on how much space we have, especially because right now I think we also want to play Cusco. Cusco may also go down to two or maybe even one, but I'm just putting it down like this because this is the standard, and then we look at how much cards we have left. And that's it for set 2 purple. Let's look at blue. So we used to play Cogsworth, but I think Cusco fills that role better. So I don't think we need to play Cogsworth anymore. Again, if you haven't caught the first part of the stream where I talked about every set 5 card I included, we don't really care about Cogsworth having Ward itself. We're not singing Whole New World. We're not like Blue Steel where you really want Whole New World. So yeah. Um, yeah, I don't think the Cockroach is better than the Cusco. Also, killing a dime forever, or well, unless they play Mufasa and they're very lucky. But sure, let's say forever dime or castles, yeah, or whatever locations people are playing in next set. I think it's too important. If no one is playing dimes or castles, then Cusco becomes much worse, obviously. Gaston is an idea for a one-off, but I don't think we really need it. I think most of the time, if you want to draw cards, you can just get a friends as a one-off and immediately sing it with the Merlin anyways, to just draw two cards and instead of looking at the top three and drawing only one. So I don't think Gaston is necessary. Judy Hopps might be a good one-off if we didn't have Cusco, so actually remove it, whoops. If we didn't have Cusco, like if Cusco didn't exist and we wanted to remove items, then Judy Hopps allows for that. Obviously, we don't play our items ourselves, so banishing our own items to draw a card is, yeah, it's not a thing in our deck. So I would rather just get the Cusco. However, maybe sometimes you might need like to shift 5 and then play Judy Helps if you have 8 ink. So you might consider it as a one-off, but right now I'm not. And that's it for set 2 blue cards. So let's get to the last set. We haven't included, or what? Actually, no, set 4. We haven't included set 4 either. All right, let's go to set 3. So this is going to be our first one drop, Chernobog's followers. Still think it's the best one drop in purple. Yeah, and we need to play at least 4 one drops, maybe 6. And followers allows us to, yeah, to draw cards when we played it. Let's say like you play Tipo, For example, as your 2-drop, you can like play it. On turn 2, you crack it, you draw a card, and then you play Tipo. So you're not too behind on cards in your hand, even after inking an extra time with Tipo. Let me check. I used to play Rafiki. I'm gonna say that we play 2 Rafiki. It really depends on um, actually. Hmm. It really depends on how big aggro is going to be, because it kills Simbas, right? And that's relevant. If hyper aggro becomes a thing and people are going to play Simbas, then you want Rafiki. Hmm. Otherwise, maybe not. But currently I'll include it, but I'm probably gonna rip it out of the deck afterwards, because we're already on 63 cards. Um, hmm. Yeah, and I was debating on Castle. So the problem with Castle is that uh, I think the next meta is gonna be insanely hostile towards locations. Where currently Castle is very free, right? Like your opponents can't really deal with it very well, but this next set we're gonna have people playing Cusco in blue and the new Simba in steel. So those are like 4 new copies, maybe even if Castle becomes way too big, then people are gonna play 4 of each. Like blue steel is gonna play 2 or 3 of both. Maybe if a new like obviously we don't have all cards of set 5 yet, so maybe if a new Simba comes, which is a very good shift target, then people are gonna play more Simba. It might just ruin locations for that meta, for that set. And we don't really need Castle to win. It's just a very good bonus against steel decks that are like that were in set 3. So green steel, for example. Green steel was insanely bad um, against Castle in set 3. Like it just couldn't kill Castle. They didn't play Rise of the Titans. They played maybe 1 or 2 Zeuses. Some played more, so it's like that's some played 3 or 4, which happens. But yeah, some played 2 or 3 Zeus, only 2 or 1 Zeuses, and their characters had low amounts of attack. It was more of an aggro deck. They played Flynn Rider and Curse Murphy, stuff like that, not the Floodborn Bucky version. So Queen's Castle was very good in that version. Now in set 4, people played even less. Like Red Blue started playing no fish hooks, so castles became even better against that deck. And against Green Steel, it was needed sometimes to help you draw cards. Now, that was never the issue with this deck. Drawing cards was not the problem. It was just that you ran out of cards immediately, and the Queen's Castle wasn't going to help because you just wanted to play Mana Mim and Mickey and just couldn't really draw. If you didn't have like rabbits and multiple bounce cards, then you just couldn't win against Bucky in set 4. In set 4 versus the set 3 deck. So Castle was mostly for the red purple or the red blue matchup. Um, so it might actually just be a 0 off now instead of a 3 or a 4 even. I think Castle's gonna be very bad in next set. So right now I'm gonna play 0. However, if the meta is gonna change and Castle becomes much better, then we're just gonna play full 4. Say fuck it. We don't want to get it with Merlin. We just want to play it turn on turn 3 after we played a Tipo, right? But right now, I think the meta is very hostile against Castle. Playing a Castle against like Blue Steel, Red Blue, or any Steel deck or any other blue deck later than turn 6 is just not doing anything because it's just gonna die immediately to Cusco's if your opponent has enough cards in hand. So right now, I think it's a fat 0, but it might change to a full 4 depending on the meta. Um, I don't know yet. We'll see. So I saw some people playing one of Granatala, and I don't know why. Um, you're never shifting it. You can play you can play it like after getting Merlin, and then it has to stay alive for another turn, and then you have to hope you have Mickey's and Bounce to gain more lore. Yeah, right now I don't I would never play this. I would much rather when if I have 7 ink, or I would much rather get a Hades or a Dragon if I have cards on board. And if I have 8 ink, I would much rather play an Elsa or Mufasa. So yeah, I would probably not play Garantala. Yeah, these cards are all bad. And then we come to the Lucky Dime. So Lucky Dime is interesting. The idea is that if you shift Merlin later in the game, or you're shifting it against a deck that does not play Cusco or Steel, just in general, because we're not playing Tamata. If Lucky Dem dies, we're never getting it back. However, if we get it, stick it on the board, we can gain a lot of lore from it. Also, it's a nice finisher. If we already have a purple dragon laying around, you just boop, play it, activate it, gain 4 more lore. So it might be like a very nice gotcha, especially with Mufasa. Like, whoa, dude, you're just like you're getting your whole Inkwell back for playing the Lucky Dime and activating Lucky Dime. So yeah, it could be good as a one-off. I think I would want to play one. Um, but I mean, it's a really bad draw. So if our deck becomes more than 60 cards, it's the bad draw aspect becomes less and less and less and less. Especially because I feel this deck doesn't have to mulligan that much. We don't need to mulligan for the Merlin shift. It's just a good extra thing that our deck does. You don't need to shift for the Merlin. Like you don't need to mulligan for it. Like it's a very nice shift. Obviously, you never play it if you can't shift, unless like it's for the board state or for the lore later in the game. But yeah, maybe it's good. Maybe it's okay. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. It's like the one of gets better and better how many cards you have in hand, because the chance that you actually draw it becomes less, and if you mulligan less, the chance that you get it from in your opening hand becomes less and less and less. So yeah, and if you ever get it in your mulligan before you mulligan, you just mulligan it away. You won't see it. You won't get it back because you only play one and not multiples. So I think it's worth it, but this is definitely a test, and I'm pretty sure after your like third game, you can immediately decide, okay, never playing Lucky Dime again, or Lucky Dime is nice. Obviously, we don't play any other items, so it's not like we can insta win the game with like a Tamatoa, or sack it to high room or something. But yeah, I think with like Mufasa and the lore on Dragon, it's playable. But who knows? We're not sure yet. All right, those are all the set 3 cards. Now we're going. Yeah. Now we're going to set 4. Okay, so for set 4, there are a few important cards, and the rest is completely useless. So I would say Ursula with what I think is going to be Rise in in Ember Steel. I think Ursula will become more important. So I think at least 2 is the answer. Maybe more, but I think 2 right now is the answer. Luckily, I currently have 2 like Ursula promos, so if we're playing 2, I'm probably gonna play my Ursula Championship promos just because I have them and I'm not planning on selling them anyway. So that would be pretty cool. Um, so yeah, I'm thinking about playing 2. If Ember Steel becomes a very high percent of the meta, you might play 3. Um, Bell is like another like a maybe one-off you can play for like removal, but as I said with other cards, I think Let It Go is your one-off removal card, and I think that is enough. Um, like the Let It Go and then the Hades. You can get the Hades if you don't need it immediately, and then it's better than the Bell because you're probably getting there pretty soon after you shift Merlin, like either the next turn or the turn after that. So if you have enough time, you can get the Hades. If you have to do it immediately, you can grab the Let It Go and sing it with the Merlin you just shifted. So yeah, I don't think we need the Bell. Mm. So we used to play Isabella Madrigal, but our 5-drop slot was very weak at that point. Like we only played um, Cogsworth and Isabella, and only played 2 Isabella because multiple Isabella is just so bad. It just doesn't do anything, and it can kill and because it could kill Diablos. But right now we have Elsa, new Elsa. We have more. We have 2 more bounce cards, maybe even more if you want to play more Elephant. If it turns out that Elephant is pretty good. So we have more time to bounce and just play more stuff on our 5 ink turn. Um, or later. So right now we have Elsa. That has solved the killing Diablo part. Then we have Merlin, which is a better turn 5 play. And then we have the Cusco that kind of solves the Cogsworth problem, and Madrigal is like sure. And our best like 5 ink play is Mickey Mouse Madam Mim, not Isabella. So I don't think we need it. It is nice with Lucky Diamond Fleet, so you can quest for 4. But right now, because of Mufasa, we have 2 more. We have the same amount of cards that quest for 4 for the Lucky Dime, because we have the 2 Purple Dragons and the 2 Mufasa. So I don't think it's necessary. Then Magic Broom is our other 1-drop we could play instead of the Rafiki. My idea for this deck is that you're kind of like a control deck in the early game, and Rafiki kills more things. And I think Rafiki is more relevant because I think Hyper Aggro is going to be more relevant. So you kind of want to deal that 3 damage, especially against if they play like Simba or something. So I like Rafiki more than Magic Broom. However, it becomes more discard heavy, like yellow green. Then I would play Magic Broom or play just 4 1-drops. It really kind of depends on what the what the meta is going to be. You have to kind of remember that this snake is not really your turn to play. Do you mind to share the whole list? Yeah, we're currently building the list. So if you have time to I'll send it like after we're done. Otherwise, I will most likely also post this on YouTube. So um, if you have to go like now, for example, you can find it on my YouTube, which is white space warlock. So basically like my Twitch name, but without the lol part. So white space warlock, like white warlock. That's my YouTube. If you haven't, yeah. If you can't watch the whole stream, then yeah, then you can get it from there. Otherwise, we're almost done. Like we're at the last set of cards, so like 15 more minutes or something, maybe even less. Um, but yeah, I'll share the link. I'm not sure how this website works though. Like I'm just using it because Dreamborn doesn't have the cards and Lorcana.gg does, but probably the same as all the other cards. Otherwise, I might need it to stats on standard or like public, but that's okay. I'll probably I'll just put it on public. Let's save the deck as well. So yeah, the idea for my why not Magic Broom but Rafiki is because I want to kill Cinderellas for Ember Steel. and I want to kill Simbas for hyper aggro. That's the idea. And Mana Mim is not your turn to play. Most of the time, your turn to play is Tipo or like do nothing. Like if you have a Mickey in your hand, you kind of want to keep the snake to play it on turn 4, so you can bounce the Mickey again. And yeah, Rafiki just helps you with kind of having that snake, but not really having that snake. So you don't really need to do anything on turn 2. Obviously, sometimes you have multiple 1-drops, so you can just play that. Or like Tipo is your best turn 2 play, obviously. Oh yeah, and thank you for the follow, Leo from Korea. So we used to play Peter Pan in set 4 when we like obviously Blurple was not a good deck in set 4, but if you played set 4, you played Peter Pan. You also played Cruella, by the way, which I didn't talk about, but I don't think it's necessary anymore. The reason you played Cruella and Peter Pan was for Diablo. I think Diablo is going to be played a lot less. The only real problem decks are going to be aggro decks, maybe like green-based aggro decks or um, yellow-green. And for that, we now have Elsa, which is so much better than Cruella. Especially again if green Diablo decks or green Steel Diablo decks will still exist. And Peter Pan is kind of like a worse Elsa for us because we can almost play Elsa and Peter Pan on the same turn if you've played Mickey Mouse or Tipo. Like it might be one turn difference. However, it is okay if your opponent draws one more card with Diablo. Obviously, it's not good, but it's much better in our deck than it is in almost every deck because we have time. We can get time. We can stall a little bit. We have Elsa. We have removal. We have like this Elsa. So we need to have kind of have time. And I think this Elsa fills that void that not playing Peter Pan uh, does, and it saves us an Inkables, which is nice. So I was thinking about Ursula, this one. I think this card is bad, personally. Against red purple, it doesn't give you that extra strength to like save you from the flint trigger, and you don't really want to shift Ursula all that much. This one, um, and I don't think it's worth it. Like, okay, like the shift is still good, but I don't think it's worth it to play such a quote unquote bad card over just to shift it. Especially if we because we play ramp, like we're not green purple where you need to shift Ursula. Obviously, you have a much better target. You have the 2-cost Ursula that grabs a song, but we have ramp, and if you've played Mickey Mouse on turn 3, so on turn 4 you're at 5 ink if you've inked, then you bounce it with Snake, and you play it again, so you're at 6 ink, and then on turn 5 you're at 7 ink anyway, so you don't need to shift the Ursula. You can just hardcast it. And then obviously whenever this character quest exert chosen character doesn't go off, but that's not why you play it. However, if Amber Steel becomes a very popular deck, like 30% of the meta, and you really want to shift Ursula, then it's worth it to play. But right now, I don't think so. I think Tipo and Madame Mimes are only 2-drops is okay. Again, we're kind of like a late game deck. Our Rafiki and Churnabox, like Churnabox draws us a card and can kind of like kill other characters. Rafiki is our killing other characters, but you only play 2 of. Maybe we want to play more. That's okay. And then we have this as our 2-drops. We don't play One Jump Head anymore. And for Wonder Band, you wanted a 2-drop so you could sing it and play Mickey Mouse on turn 3. But now that we don't play that, you have a little bit less need of the 2-drop. So I think you don't need it. But this is like a maybe it's good, maybe it's not. But for now, I don't think so. And as your sorry. I just started playing on Friday and went to a championship Saturday. And it worked out for me. I am trying to figure out how I can get a good deck for cheap. Well, right now Blurple is very cheap. It's not good though, because it's very bad against Bucky. But I'm not sure how that will change in next set, because we're adding 6 new legendaries, and if Merlin's going to be very popular, then it's going to be very expensive legendary. Obviously, the normal version of this Ursula is pretty cheap. I just put this in because I have it. Because set 5 is going to come out relatively soon, like in I think the 9th of August, and I think your next tournament, if like small or local tournaments, probably going to be either like a sealed pre-release or set 5, like a set 5 deck. I would wait until set 5 releases and people that are very good deck builders start releasing their decks, or like people in the Discord start like making their deck. So yeah, I would wait from that, and then you can kind of see which decks are good, and if they're cheap, uh, like which deck you want to play. What I would guess is that Daisy Duck, like Daisy Duck aggro decks, are going to be pretty popular in the beginning, and then they're going to fall off a little bit because people are going to play more Steel decks, like Amber Steel, for example. Um, Even though like you could play Daisy Duck and Amber Steel, obviously. Um, and yeah, that's um, like yeah, and that deck will probably be pretty cheap. So I think you could probably wait until a deck list for that comes out and buy those cards. But I would definitely wait. I would not buy any cards right now, unless you want to buy like the staples that are always gonna be played, like for example, in purple, Merlin Rabbit, Merlin Goat, Fox, and Snake and Crab, for example. Um, which is you're saying. Someone was saying I combine 2 starter decks and put them together to make a good cheap deck. I don't know which starter they were talking about. Are there starter decks with the same colors as the ones before? I'm gonna check starter deck lists. Mm-mm-mm. So this is gonna be set 1. Yeah. Um, so okay, I'll just grab this. So those are those colors. Ink, this is into the Inklands. So like these colors. Set 2. That's not set 2. Let's see. If I just need to know the colors. I don't need to know the list. Okay. And set 4. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is Amber Sapphire. So that's blue yellow and Amber Steel. Okay. So the only one you could combine is this one plus set 1, this one, or this one plus this one. If you want to combine the same, if you want to combine like 2 different ones. However, I think like buying 2 of this one, the Rise of the Floodborn Amethyst and Steel deck. So that's purple and steel, like purple gray, is better because then you get 2 rabbits, you have the full 4 goats, you have 4 crabs, you have 4 snakes, and you have 2 foxes. And then you can buy the foxes and the rabbits you don't already have. And then you can play the full Merlin Madam Mim setup. And then the other cards don't matter because that's good. That's good enough. That might be the best, but honestly, it might literally be cheaper to wait, as I said, on set 5 and grab an aggro deck, a cheap, good aggro deck. That might just be better. Uh, pretty sure it's better, like 99% sure. So yeah, I want to play red and purple. Well, the red purple deck isn't that expensive, right? You might get an ad, by the way, but I'll continue typing in chat if you you have right okay. You might get an ad, but I'll type in chat just in case as well. But the red purple list, okay, so I don't really have a very reasoned red purple. I guess this, yeah, red purple's quite cheap. Oh, wait, no, never mind. They're why is this one more expensive? Uh, I guess they're not super cheap, but they're also not very expensive, like not compared to. But like set five blurb. Oh, well, this one has old cards. Like set four blurble was okay-ish cheap. Set four red blurble was like 250. Blurple was like 160. Um, okay. Anyways, let's. Oh no! Why did it go? Fuck. Ah. Alright, what did it say? Okay, it still got the Ursulas. So set four. Okay, so it got the Ursulas. We didn't play Magic Broom. Okay, we didn't add anything afterwards. Okay. Okay, you're from NA. The ads should have stopped right now. Okay. Uh, so I'm not sure about card price in NA. In NA, they're almost always way more expensive. But yeah, it really depends. Also, hype in NA can be completely different than in EU. Like Bell was insane. Like set 2 Bell was way more expensive in NA than it was in EU. It was still expensive in EU. But I think yeah, a set 5 aggro deck with Daisy Duck and any like probably purple with rabbit, fox, goat, snake. It's probably like $80 maybe. Um, yeah, maybe $80 or something, and then you can upgrade it some maybe if you like maximum would be 80 bucks, I think. But that really depends on what gets popular and what gets played. But right now I can't tell you. I would definitely not buy any deck right now. The next set is gonna come out in a week or something. When's the net set? Yeah, next week, Thursday. So not the 1st of August, but the 8th. So yeah, I would just wait. I would just wait a week and then see if you have a tournament in next weekend. You can all. I would just recommend asking one of your other local or one of your friends if your friends have more cards, if you could borrow one of their decks. I think that's a better idea. And then maybe start. You do want to kind of start learning the play styles of Lorcana, or just start learning the game before you go all in and buy a $600 deck, and then you find out you don't really like the game, and then you just wasted a lot of money, right? All right, Dextronic, howdy. Anything besides Blurple that caught your eye? Yes, I will. I want to make another deck in this stream, but I'm not sure if we have time. But probably yes, but I'm gonna talk about that later in a bit. 1 second. And I was hoping for more Emerald Amethyst tempo support, but I was not impressed. No, no, the Emerald cards were insanely bad. This set, I think, like all that damage matters is like, boo. Damage matter sucks. I don't want. Hmm. No, no, almost all the Emerald cards were bad, and all the good purple cards like Anna or something are not for your Anna and Elsa are not really for your colors. But Manamim and Magica could be good. Magica is obviously a counter card, and not like a card that's good for your deck specifically. But yeah, those could be good. Like elephant is probably pretty good in your deck. Um, but yeah, that's about it, unfortunately. Um, Otherwise, yeah. So the deck I wanted to make after this one is Mail and like Green Steel Mail and Green Steel Beast combo. So those are the ones I might work on after this one. But first we're gonna finish this. All right. So we were at the Ursulas. So yeah, the Tutor of Ursula right now not good enough. However, if the shift becomes way too important for the meta, then you play the 2-cost Ursula and then you have to check your curve or something. It's also good against aggro lists where it can't really be like where it can't really get backstabbed after you attacked it and it goes from like a 3-3 to a 1-3 if it doesn't die. But at the moment, I think it's just a worse Rafiki, and I would rather just play more Rafiki than Ursula's. Um, but we'll see. Then we are gonna play a card that right now in set 4 is really bad, which is Second Star to the Right. However, I think it's probably the single best card you could get um, with Merlin if you have other characters on board. So it's Sync Together 10, and Merlin is Shift 5, 6 cost. So you only need 4 cost characters on the board to be able to grab sync the second star to the right from the Merlin and sing it immediately and drawing 5 cards. So the only thing you need, let's say you have a rabbit and a goat on board and you shift it, so you shift it a turn later, which is okay. You only shift it, you can delay the shift. That's fine. Especially if you have two Merlins on board. If one of them dies, you can use the other one. The chance that they kill both on turn 5 or turn 6 is not very high. Um, and yeah, the only part is like if you're playing as red blue and they be prepared or something, but yeah, that's okay. So if you have both rabbit and goat, you can put your you can shift your Merlin on the goat, and then grab second star to the right, and immediately sing second star to the right. Woohoo! Amazing. Just draw 5 cards immediately. So I think that's really good. Otherwise, let's say you only have one Merlin, maybe you only have the goat, you shift it, and you have a elephant or a Magica or a Mickey Mouse and a Rafiki or Tipo and a snake or crab and a Rafiki or crab and a turtle box followers. All those like combinations. Obviously, you can also play it later. You can like, grab it off your second shift or whatever. I think as a one-off, it's really good. The chance that you draw one-offs if your deck is more than 60 cards is much, much less than if you draw 60 cards. I don't know. I think it's good, but we'll see. In testing, it's very quick. I love testing toolbox decks. Like you can really, really quickly see if you want that card in your deck immediately, like as a toolbox deck. You can really quickly note every time you shift Merlin, what do I want to get in this situation? Just write down when you play a deck, what card that exists in Magic or in Lorcana in these 2 colors at the moment would I want to get? If it's not in the deck, and if you wrote it down like 4 or 5 times, maybe you put it in the deck. Otherwise, if it's in the deck, you keep it in the deck. And after like a few games, you can see, all right, I've never written down that card. Is it still worth it to put in my deck? Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's very niche, like the Lucky Dime could be very niche, but could be very worth it. Sometimes it is not, and you just never want the Lucky Dime and you just don't play it. But yeah, I think the second star to the right is probably one of the best cards you can get. So I'm gonna play the second star to the right and see. Obviously, the other option is to get dig a little deeper, which is sync together 8. So you only need the Merlin and 2 more. So that would be like Mickey Mouse on its own would be enough, but you could also have a Tipo, a Snake, or 2 1-drops. Um, but obviously, Second Star's Right is much better if you can play them both. So right now, I think one of Second Star is good enough. Maybe you want to play one Second Star to Right and one Dig. But I think one Second Star to Right at the moment is good enough. All right, let's go. Wait a second. Meal sounds spicy. yeah, Milson's. I think it's maybe it could be pretty good. Maybe it's also I think a really good deck against Ember Steel, but I don't know yet because I haven't played much. I tried to play it in set 4 now, but it's so bad against. I just hate it against Bucky. I don't know, and against the red purple's also not great. But it got a few new cards that I'm pretty excited about. So in Emerald. Uh, Yeah, yeah, I don't think, and I don't like Emerald Amethyst in set 5, I think, but we'll see. Maybe Artabax can throw up something. All right, let's look at the final cards. So the blue cards of set 4. I don't think there are any cards I want to play here. Uh, yeah, no. Maybe you could play Grandson Dragon. Uh, nah. Nah, never mind. If you want the Ram, just grab a Mickey. No. Okay, no. These cards. No, we don't play these cards. You could get a Glean, but again, then we at this point, if Glean was a song, maybe, but at that point, because you probably can't play it anyways on Merlin, just gonna grab a Cusco and then play the Cusco next turn. So yeah, don't think that's it. Yeah, and those are all the cards. So we went through every single card, and right now we have 67 cards. All right, so 67 is a very good number for Blurple. I would say I like playing 67 cards in Blurple, or like a little bit more above 60. But with the new focus on Merlin, you might not. You might want to go as low as 60. So one thing you could do is not play the Rafikis, or play like 3 Chernobog 2 Rafikis. Um, we could play a single Magicka, so that's another -1 or like -2. So like yeah, we're at like 2 or 3, like -2 or 3 now. Um, we could maybe place 0 elephants, so that's 4 or 6. Yeah, 4 or 5, sorry. We could play only 2 Elsa. That's a cut. We could play only 2 Cusco. We could play only 2 Isma. We could play only 1 Purple Dragon. We could play only 1 Mufasa. We could play only 1 Elsa. We could play 0 Dimes, something like that. Uh, so there's enough to cut to 60 if you really wanted to play 60. The 21 on inks is very worrying for me. Obviously, you can play with Tipo. You can always ink the uninkable. And 4 of them are Mickey Mouses. But we used to play 20, sometimes 17 or 20 uninkables. And those were also 3 one-drop bats. So if I have a look at what an inkable I want to cut, because we're definitely playing with the Merlin. I think we're definitely playing the Anna. We could maybe cut down on the Mufasa and the Elsa. And we can cut down on the Lucky Dime. I think I might just cut the Lucky Dime actually, because now that I think about it, it costs so much ink, and activation is only really good if you have the Mufasa, and if you don't have the Mufasa. Yeah, okay, let's cut the Lucky Dime. Okay, so that's 1 an inkable gone, and 66 cards. I just think like 2 Elsa, 2 Mufasa, 2 Hades, and then 2 Purple Dragon, 2 Ursula, and then 3 like our top curve is so good here. And I think the Merlin is good enough. It's hard, man. 20 inkables, 66 cards. It's hard, but I think Tipo makes it a much better, because the chance that you have an inkable that you want to ink with Tipo is very high. Like Mufasa, Hades, Elsa's at the start of the game, you can just ink them and then get the second one of the Merlin. Same like Anna, if you have the Anna, or like the second statue right um in your opening hand, or like after the mulligan, yeah. So in your opening hand, and you have a Tipo, you can just ink them with Tipo. So it's a little bit. like this 20 is a little bit like maybe maybe it's not that bad, but yeah, it is. Hmm, it is something we need to think about. If we have a deck image, we're definitely picking Mickey Mouse. So that's saved. How do I share this? Uh, so I can get an image. Okay. Okay, so I share this. Okay, so I'll test it out. If I make a, yeah, so that works. Okay, okay. Uh, huh. Okay. Yeah, I think this would be it. This would be the full 66 cards. Yeah, 66. Yeah, 66 cards. Again, playing above 60 cards in a toolbox deck is okay. Um, and we have so many cuts we can make. Like we can cut Churnerbox followers at 65. Elsa 65, 64. Magica 63. Isma 62. Cusco 61. Purple Dragon 60. That would be my 60. But right now I'm keeping it at this, especially when testing it out. I want to kind of test out every card, and then suddenly, like afterwards, we can get down. Like the Magic Arm might turn out to be actually bad, so we play 0. That could also happen. But right now, I think this is the list. I'll share it in chat. I'll throw it in the Blurple Discord in 20 Lore Pro. Alright. High risk. Okay. Yeah. I like this. I like this a lot. All right. We'll keep this. I'll keep this saved in my on my browser, and I'll look at it tomorrow as well. Maybe we have some things that yeah, maybe we have some things that come to mind, especially cutting down to 60. But cutting the inlinkables is something I'm really thinking about. Okay. Let's make a second deck. So builder. Okay. Builder. All right, we're gonna try mill now. So we're playing a whole new world. Like, and to get the green, we're playing. Lady terrain. Okay. So now we play Steel Emerald. All right, let's go to set 5. What new set 5 cards are playable? A lot of cards are really bad. That's the problem. Like a lot of these cards are just completely unplayable in every single deck. I think Iago could be playable. I'm putting it as 2 of now, but like there's gonna be another deck above 60 cards. So yeah, Iago might be playable. Clarabella is for your opponent. Cards in hand. Although, maybe play Clarabella. Maybe play both. We might play Morph and then play Calavera. We're definitely playing Hypnotic Deduction. And You're Welcome. Those are the cards we definitely want. Okay? So, why we're playing You're Welcome is the idea is you can sing this with muses or something. So you shuffle a character, item, or location in the player deck. They draw 2 cards. And then you play Whole New World. So those 2 cards they just drew were nothing. So You're Welcome is basically just super hard removal. So yeah, I like this. Um, If I can, does this? No. Okay. I want to the translation of this. Pretty sure this one says that at the end of your turn, you draw cards so that you have the same amount of cards in your hand as your opponent does, which is okay after wheel, but before wheel, probably not. Wasn't there another Clarabella? The one that allows you to draw cards? Huh. I thought there was another card that said when you play this, you draw a card if your opponent has more cards in hand. Or is it not? I'm gonna check it out. Like I'm pretty sure it was Clarabella, right? Or not? Huh. Maybe it was one of the new ones and it wasn't uploaded yet. But that one was. So no, Clarabella was new is newer than that one. Maybe I'm thinking about the wrong color. That could also be true, but it seems like a green thing. Hmm. Mm, I can't find it. It might just be in my mind. Yeah, there is one. 3 cost Carabella. When you play this character, if an opponent has more cards in their hand than you draw a card. Yeah, so that one isn't uploaded yet. That's kind of important. Why not? So I'll show it in the browser, on stream. So when you play this, yeah, this one is important. I think this one could be a good card, but in a mill deck you have a lot of cards in it. You don't really play that many before you mills. You start really milling. Hmm. I don't know. Maybe it's not good enough, but I like this one as a possible shift. Also, shift 5, so you can immediately start Wonderworlding. Eh, I don't think it's good enough, but I'll just throw it down here. This one is the item killer, but we could always say, no, you want to play this one instead. And just play Beast Hard at it or something. Alright, those are all green cards, I think. Like, the other green cards are completely useless. Alright, then Steel. So if this was shift, sure, but unfortunately it's not. So that's a no. And I'm searching for Pete. Yeah, this one. We're playing 4 of that one. And that's it. That's the only set 5 cards we're playing. 100%. Yeah. Okay, so not a lot of new cards, but important. Oh wait, actually no, we're playing this one as well. Uh, do you want? I think we can just play Morph actually. That like we don't need to play this, and we just play Morph, and then maybe we play Carabella as well. So this is like a set, like this is like a turn 4 wheel if you want a wheel on turn 4. Um, yeah, we can just play Morph. So this Simba kills a location, or this is basically Rise of the Titans on a character. It's just when you play this character, you can banish chosen item or location. So yeah, pretty good, especially if you can shift it. Like if they play turn 4 castle on the play, you have you're on the draw, you have a morph laying around, and you shift the Simba kill your castle. Nice. Or like an item, like an important item or something. Um, yeah, I think that would be okay. So maybe we play Morph now. Like we didn't used to play Morph, but now we play. And oh yeah, the other card I really want to talk about is Pete. So this is obviously not the English version, but uh, if you haven't seen it yet, it is very good because what it says is whenever you play this character, your well, yeah, when you play this character, your opponent can't play action cards at all, just not singing. Yeah, you can't sing them, you can't play them, whatever, until the start of your next turn. So basically, during their next turn, they can't play any actions. Songs are also actions, so they can't be prepared. That's very important, not being able to be prepared. In Mill, like if you had the peat in hand before the mill or after, or you get it after, and you just like sing it with something, and you have 3 ink left. Like let's say you get it after the mill and you play it, your opponent can't play any actions they played, so they can only play characters. And if they want to try to kill your characters, they can't, right? Because you have Pete, you played Pete. So I think this it allows you a lot more freedom and allows you to basically disable like maybe sometimes 3 or maybe even more cards in their hand after you wield them for 1 turn, and after that you try to wield them again, and then maybe you draw another Pete and you play that Pete again. So yeah, that really works. I think and that's also a fine 3 drop if they're playing a song deck, right? If they're playing Amber Steel, they just played uh, Ariel and they got a whole new world, and then boop, you play Pete. Nice, good job. You can't sing anything. You can't play anything. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, so I like this one. All right, let's go. Let's start in chapter 1 with the rest. So for Mill, we want basically 3 things. We want to get to our whole new world. We want to stop our opponent from winning, and we want to yeah. Well, actually, those are the only 2 things. You just want to get to your whole new world by drawing cards, and you need to stop your opponent from winning by either playing discard or whatever, but that you don't need to do that. Or by most likely playing characters and getting their character with removal, or bouncing, like bounce back. So stuff like that. So you used to play Genie on set 1, for example, or even set 2 mil. Was there set 3 mil deck? I don't know, probably, but maybe we stopped playing after set 2. But yeah, you used to play Genie, stuff like that. Um, Right now, there's not very much left. Like we have the late remain to get back our wheel. So if we have a wheel in our discard, that's basically drawing a wheel. Um, so do it again is the same. We want to have do it again, getting a wheel. Currently, I'm playing like I have 4, but 4 might be too much. Like eight cards that do that might be too much. You might want 6. Mother Knows Best is an interesting one. This is like if you can sing Mother Knows Best and then play Honeywell, it's basically a removal card. Sudden, yeah, so it's just not good. Okay, then so Beast Hard-Headed used to play, but I don't think that's necessary anymore now that we have actually we probably want to play 4. Now that we have Simba, Simba does Beast Hard-Headed, but then also locations. So and it's a shift. So yeah, I think we don't need to play Beast Hard-Headed anymore. And we might want to play Captain Hooks as our 1 drops in an aggro against aggro. So yeah, I'm grabbing the Captain Hooks, and you might want to play like Simba to get the Honor World, but I don't think that's necessary. Tinkerbell and maybe the Shift, but the Shift, the Tiny Tinkerbell is also good to get that Honor World. Well, not great, but like it's an additional option. And the Tinkerbell shift is just very important against aggro decks, and I think there's going to be a lot more aggro decks next set, so Tinkerbell might be important. And then we have Holy World. We already had that one, right? Yeah, Holy World and Grab Start. I'm currently getting getting four, but four might be a little bit too much. But maybe two or three, and that's it for set one. All right. So right now we're already at 49 cards. We kind of want to be like 67, 70 cards, something like that, to really get stuff going. We don't want to mill ourselves before we mill our opponents. Remember that. So Donald Duck is pretty nice because, well, if they draw a card from the Donald Duck, then they mill one, right? Because if we mono often enough, then that's nice. And we want to draw cards to get our own Holy World. So I think Donald Duck is nice. So Pete is like our Cogsworth, like our Ward Cogsworth. However, I think with the new amount of shift we play, we might not need it. But it's also like an additional win condition. If you only have like a few action, like if you play actions, if you play two actions in one turn, Pete quests for four, and if it can stay alive, it can quest for four the next turn as well. So, but otherwise it's just the five cost for ward to allow us to sing it guaranteed with Pete next in that turn. Um, yeah, yep, that's it. Then we have Beast. So Beast allows us to draw cards, and it can shift on the morph. Um, I think we're definitely playing morph, and it can shift maybe on turn 3 to get morph. Benja is no longer necessary. The same with Beast hard added because we have the 4 Simbas now. And that's it. Oh, I think we're probably gonna play the Ursula. So the idea is that we want to play the removal spells. Right now, I'm thinking that um, Storm is probably better than Strength, but I'm gonna take 4 of each, and we'll see later. All right, we're gonna go to set 3. Here's where we get our Robin Hoods, which is important. And you could play like Kid Cloud Kicker to bounce. But obviously it's a character, it's not like a song with Mother Knows, like the Mother Knows Best, so it has some opportunity costs. So I don't think we have the space to play it. We're definitely playing morphs, I think. We have so many like good shift cards that we can put on it. We got new extra shift cards. You want to play you would definitely want to play 4 of this Ursula. You want to make sure your opponent can't play bare necessities against you to take your Holy World if you're playing against like yellow green next set, for example. And otherwise, you can play it after you play the Holy World to make sure that they can't kill your characters with their actions if you didn't draw Pete as well, for example. I think with the Ursula, it allows you to play these two, but if we don't have enough space, we might just cut the Ursula entirely. Strike good match is good with Ursula, but I think we don't really have the space, unfortunately. We could play Mr. Smee because we're playing Captain Hook, but that's not really our need. What website am I using to build the deck? So right now, and only right now, until Dreamborn gets updated, which will probably happen on Tuesday European time, probably Tuesday for both EU and American time, but we'll see. I will use Dreamborn, but for now I'm using lorcana.gg. So lorcana.gg. I'll type it in chat. Lorcana.gg. That's what I'm using. It has almost all the updated cards. It doesn't have this one for some reason. That's the only one I'm really missing. But the rest it does. The rest it has. this would have been my old version, but at that point I still played one jump. This would have been my old version of Blurple I tried to make before, but then I played castles and still one jump bed. So I'm pretty sure I like the list we built before more than that one. Okay, let's get back on track. So I don't think Mr. Schmees are necessary, but they're nice. So we might need to play them anyways. We're definitely playing 4 Roman of both. I think that's our these are 1 drops, and then Roman is one of our best shift targets. Uh, so yeah. No worries, Sochi Panda. No worries, no worries. Hope you enjoy deck building. I think Dan Longcam Zeus is pretty nice, and Baboom is probably a lot less necessary with the death of Bucky. So let's not play any Babooms. Alright, so that is set 3. Right, one more set to go. And then we can check out, because we probably have way too many cards, even for the mill deck. Okay. So, Diablo. Do we play Diablo? I think we do, actually. I think we do play Diablo. If we have 2 Holy Worlds, you can discard the Holy Worlds for Diablo to shift on Morph. I don't think we play the 1-drop Diablo, but I think we play this one. It's also way too good, like as a lightning rod and to draw cards if you don't have the pieces we need. I think Hey Hey could be underrated. So Hey Hey allows us to ramp, uh, and on the draw, which is necessary to kind of keep up. And it doesn't really interfere that much with our gameplay because we don't really want to do anything else on the first few turns except for be defensive. And Hey Hey allows us to do that. If we're playing as blue decks, then we can even use it on the play sometimes. But otherwise, you can always play it on the play on turn 4 as well. Instead of and on the you can play it on the draw on turn 3 and play it on the play on turn 4, which might just be enough. So I think this one is interesting, but probably one of our first cuts. Mm. Pegasus is another one where at this point we have a lot of like shifts, and we might have too much shifts, but it does allow for some nice it does allow for some nice evasive and protecting your characters. So, but I don't think we have space for it. Like we already have singers. We have a lot of singers already. We have a lot of shifts already, and we're not playing the 1-drop Pegasus, so we can only shift it on Morph, and otherwise it's a pretty bad character. So yeah, no Pegasus anymore. Probably definitely playing Muses. Muses allows us to, when we play a different song, not Holy World, like we can bounce more characters. But if we decide to play less songs, then we maybe don't play any Muses at all. We don't talk about Bruno is nice. Get it back into her hand, let them discard a card, and then sing Holy World. Maybe 3 is too. Yeah, maybe just do 2. Whoop, at the top. Maybe just do 2. Thank you, Sachi Panda, for following. And I think with Hidden Cove, not really what we want. If our opponent spends a lot of time brawling our characters, that's okay, or killing our characters with brawl and Medusas, that's okay. I mean, it's not nice, but yeah, we don't really have a choice. So I don't think Hidden Cove is good enough in this deck. So Ariel's really interesting because we play songs. So like Whole New World and Grappler Sword. So, but do we have the ink to deal the 3 damage? That's the question. It is a nice shift for though, so I might just play 2 and get it on the morph, and otherwise they're inkable anyways. I think Champo really fits this deck well. It's a good bodyguard. It sinks, so that's possible 4-off. And yeah, with the death of Bucky, we don't need to play Avalanche. So that's it. All right. So those are all the cards we're considering. Right now we have 110 cards, and the first thing I'm already thinking about is not playing the 3 cost Ursula. So because we already have Pete, we have Tinkerbell, like we have 3 drops. We have Diablo, maybe even Hey Hey, but we're probably cutting Hey as well. So we're play, and then we are cutting the Storm and the Strength, and probably the Monazon's Best as well. So these are hard removal. Your Welcome is hard remove, and you might just not we might just play zeros as well. Just play 4 your Welcome, 2 we don't talk about Bruno, so they're more ink. So we only have 20 uninkables now with 93 cards. So I want to go to like 70-ish, maybe a little bit more. So we need to cut like 20 more cards. So I like this staying. I probably the Hey is probably a little bit too cute. And because we're not playing that many songs now, the muses are a lot worse. Diablo might also be a little bit too much, but I'm going to keep them in for now. And Iago is probably not good enough as well. It's not really that. And I think I'm gonna cut the Pete's as well because we have more singers now and the one of Curla Bell. So right now we're at 79. I want to check out. So I added this one immediately because I thought this one is pretty good. It's like a brainstorm, and it's like early game. You can really decide, like, okay, I'm gonna draw 3 cards, and I'm gonna put 2. But it's basically cantrip, right? But it's really good with Honor Worlds because if you have multiple Honor Worlds, you can use Hypnotic Deduction to draw 3 cards, put one of the Honor Worlds back, and then sing Honor World and get a Honor World, or like any of the Tremaines and do it against. Because the problem is if you like have a Honor World and you have too many of these as well, that you run out of ways to get the Honor World back. And Hypnotic Deduction allows you to dig 3 cards and put them back after you found it or if you already had one. So right now we are at 79. I think the Ariel might be a bit too cute. I think we could play. Maybe we play only 2 Tinkerbells. Maybe we cut the Diablos as well because we're only playing 14. Is it discard song? No, it's discard action. Okay. So we play 22 actions. Okay, that's okay but we're only having morph, and it's not like we needed to win the game. Maybe if we cut the Diablo, we're at 72 out of 60, 16 uninkables. That's better. Then maybe you play like 3 Captain Hooks. That's one more. Maybe we just cut the Champos actually. Just keep the shift lines and these singers. And then we're at 67 cards. Okay. And then we add the Captain Hook back and we're at 68. Okay, that's not too bad. I think 68. I want more input from people I know that are good. Or maybe play like uh, uh, maybe cut like a sword and play Bruno or something like this. Although I think with more egg, I think more aggro is going to be played. So I think 4 swords actually pretty good. I'm 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 staying at 68 like this, but I'm gonna post this in a Discord and then get more feedback on it from people that played it before, and to see like to play it and that played a mill-ish deck in set 4. So I'm gonna actually check because we had a in the Discord we had a wheel deck. Okay, so this is with more songs. So this is like a wheel deck. This is the Pegasus shift. And then yeah, so this one has more. This one has way more songs with the muses. That's obviously very good. And they do play more removal than we do. We might have too little amount of removal with just 4 grab, but they play 0 grab your swords. That's obviously this is just set 4, and now I think it's set 5 grab your swords way more important, and we have this as our removal as well. So we already have like this. Maybe we play Models Knows Best again, but that costs our us more inkables, and right now we have a pretty good inkable count um, for how many cards we play. For 68 cards in the mill deck, that's a pretty good inkable count. So I'll post this one in the Discord, and we'll see. Okay, I'm gonna make a new deck list. Probably we have. Okay, let's post this. Okay. What was it called? Okay, let's make this like that. Publish. Save. Let's get a. Ooh, let's Honorworld. Definitely Honorworld, and let's get an image. Oh. Okay. Why isn't it working? It's published. Can I get an image? Hello. Interesting. It worked with the Blurple deck, but it doesn't work for this one. Oh yeah, let's not do that. Okay, maybe just. No. Okay, so that one doesn't work. So the link stopped working. So that's nice. And copy text. Yeah, we just copied. Okay. So the link image not working. Okay, that's not good. Come on. Give me. No. I mean, it's just not work. Like, I think the site is down because January 1st, 1970, like you can see there. If I look at the Blurple, if I refresh this, if I make a new one for this, let's see. The Blurple one does work. Okay. I don't know why this one doesn't. Okay. Try to do it private and then put it on published. Okay. That's annoying. But okay, well, we'll copy text. I'll post it in the oh, Jesus. I'm posting it in a Discord and to get more. Okay. I guess we can. What if we zoom out? Whoop. Okay, so we will just print screen. We will just print screen. Copy. Like. You'll just print screen it 3 times. All right. So for the next deck, I think I'm gonna have time for one more deck. Not sure what I want to make. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. Or requests, maybe I can make it make a request deck. Otherwise, I might try something like Beast combo, but I don't think Beast combo is that much to add. What were the regulars? So what? Tricky, Weedies, and R&B. Alright. All right. Sure. Okay. So, all right. So I've zoomed out a little bit. Let me check how does it look on the OBS. Okay. Now my chat is in the way. So let me disable this. All right. For a second. All right. So I zoomed out a little bit, but this is the leg list for now for the mill deck. Currently, it's not saving, so this might be the last time you see this. Like, I'm saving it and I'm clicking get image and nothing happens. Like it stays at this like anonymous June 1st, 1970. So the site is down. But oh, like yeah, like you can see, like maybe there's too many people on the website at the moment. But um, yeah, as you can see right now, this would be my like mill list. This is not tested at all for set 4. It's just a set 5. It's just a little bit of theory, a little bit too much shift targets maybe. Maybe a little bit too much shift for only the 4 morphs and like the 4 Robinhoods and the 2 things. But yeah, I mean like we're not shifting Total Duck ever, but like the other ones. And maybe it lacks removal with only 4 You're Welcome, 2 Bruno, and 4 Swords, but I think it could be. So Bucky's gonna be back in. No, definitely not. Bucky is completely unplayable in set 5. This is not a Bucky list. This is a mill deck. Bucky, yeah, Bucky. Because the second Bucky gets played, everyone's gonna play any card that deals with it on turn 3, and every deck can do that. Every deck in Steel can do that. Every deck in Red can do that. Like with Brawl or like Steel has so many ways to deal with a non-ward Bucky. Um, purple only decks could get purple only decks could play Pinocchio would play Pinocchio. So Bucky, the second Bucky gets any playing time, it will get bullied out of the format immediately, and it would just be such a bad card against Ember Steel, which I think is going to be the most played deck in set 5 for now. Like this is just theory, obviously. It's gonna suck. It's gonna suck so bad against basically the most played deck. Um, Purple Steel, Amber Steel are my bets. Oh yeah, Purple Steel. Yeah. Oh, that's what I'm gonna. Yeah, that was a good one. Maybe we make a Purple Steel. That was a good one. Um. Yeah, yeah. Purple Steel would be good with Pete, bouncing Pete a lot. I think it would be a pretty. Yeah, step 1, 4 times Pete, exactly. 4 times Pete, 4 times Snake, 4 times Fox, 4 times Elephant. Yeah, that's something. But yeah, I think Pete bouncing would be very good. Um, let's start with that actually. Let's try to make a new build. I hope I can keep this. Okay, yeah, that works. All right, so we're gonna get Pete. Whoop. So the river. Okay, let's zoom in again. Okay, 100%. Okay, let's zoom in. So Pete, hurry, and then Meta Mim, and we're gonna whoop whoop whoop. All right, so this is our baseline, and then Merlin, these two, and two of these. All right, so those are the standard 26 cards plus what is it? France. France is guaranteed, and followers. Okay, so that's already. Goat's in it. Okay. Followers. Think probably. Maybe not four, but probably think. Let's just go by set again. So set five first. Like these set five cards are just no, nope, 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 nope. Maybe Elsa. Maybe Magica. Actually, a lot of people have already been working on it. Let me check. So a lot of people have actually already been working on it. No, I don't. I think Arthur is um Arthur is a little bit too meme. Arthur is just gonna die to everything, right? So set five is like Purple Steel is very dominated in the Discord I'm in by a few people that have played it since set one or set two, and yeah, they have like they are very secretive um, in their deck choices. So that's a little bit of a problem. Like every other um, deck guide on the 20 Lore Pro Discord or like deck lists thing has a lot of talk, people share screenshots, stuff like that. Um, but yeah, they these people don't do that. They just talk a little bit about the list and that's it. Like they're very secretive. So that's kind of a problem. Because I most of the time I get my information from that and then I build on myself, especially if I haven't played the deck before. I've played this deck in set two and that's it. As a red purple counter, and even then I just played red purple anyways. So this is a lot of new things. Like I think I've seen them talk about playing Anna, like two off, without the shift, just as like your highest curve. And then are there any set four cards that Purple Steel plays? Maybe they played the Loras. I can actually get a set four list. Actually, that one there is a set four list now. This one doesn't play any Robin Hoods. They've talked about Robin Hood not being good in the deck. In Purple Steel, ooh, this one. In Purple Steel, and I kind of agree. So you kind of want to play a more aggro version. So that's like this. How do we improve that for set four? Well, I think the set four is going to be a little bit more mid-range with Pete, right? Um, so we need to have a little bit more removal, maybe a little bit less aggro. So we don't play Pascal, for example. Maybe we play the two Magic Boom for Fortuna Box followers. Um, maybe we don't play the Benjas, instead play the Simba, stuff like that. Yeah, full force use is probably still what you want. This one. So we want Zeus. we want Chenbo. Nope. Why doesn't it? This is Chenpo with an without an H? No. Oh, Chenpo with an I. Whoops. Chen. Okay. We want 4 Chenpo probably. That's probably still stuck. And then Smash is less important now because people are not gonna play Cove anymore. So maybe we just play 4. Well, actually, Smash is more important because everyone's gonna play Aerial. And yeah. Alright, Aerial. And then Grab. It's probably more important than it is then. So it's 3 grabs. And then, as I said, items and location got to be a little bit worse. Library, yeah, exactly. That one isn't in the. That one isn't in this set or in the on the site yet. Unfortunately, some of them are not on the site because they were like spoiled and like worse video sense, so maybe they weren't in the they aren't on the website. So library is on the website, but yeah, you want like Queen's Castle stuff like that. But it's a little bit hard to think about how you would like this is not the correct 60 100%, but you probably don't play Magic as actually. Let's remove that one and then can just at least grab like 4 castles, and then maybe you split them a little bit. Maybe I just cut the Elsas. Maybe only play like I liked 4 elephants, so stuff like this, and then broom. This one. Okay, maybe 3 elephants, stuff like that, something like that. This is a little bit more mid range. Still a lot of removal. This castle could be like library. Magic out kind of depends. But yeah, it's something like this. I'm not. It really depends on how good in the meta speed is. But I think it's pretty good. You can really annoy your against red purple. You want to like play it on turn 6 and then bounce it every time. And yeah, then bounce it later and keep your bounce a little bit in your hand. Obviously, keep it for the rabbit, and then just play your stuff, play your Tinkerbell, stuff like that, and then just start playing speed over and over and over again, so they can never play their B preps or their friends, and then just use Zeus and Smash and Castle. But yeah, Magic has probably attack against like against Holy Will decks with green of yellow steel uh, being a very important deck. So purple steel, deck title image, Pete, safe. Is Tink getting played by the time we start beat looping? No, it's like probably the the turn before you start beat looping, you play the Tink. And against aggro decks, you just want the Tink, and like the beat doesn't matter. That's the idea. So you do want to play probably 4 things, maybe 3. Um, this is for like the non-red purple version. Also like Champa, you don't like Champa. You play on turn 3 or sorry on turn 5, and then on if you're on the play, for example, you can play Tink on turn 6, then Pete on turn 7, and then you can bounce Pete on the draw. You can't do that, obviously. You can't play Tinkerbell and then play Pete after. So yeah, on the draw um, you can bounce with Pete. Uh, Yeah, yeah, you can bounce with beats later or earlier. You have to bounce early on the draw, and on the play you can bounce later. You have a little bit more extra time. And again, if you have multiples, for example, you can start using your beat for crabs and just make it a 6-6 or 6-3, right? And then not a 6-6, 6-3, and then kill something. But I think I like this. This is a pretty nice list. Pretty standard. A lot of 4-offs. This is obviously very beat heavy, and if beat is not good or worse in the set, then uh, yeah, then then this deck has to be a little bit less speed heavy and just more mid range. But I think purple steel can be quite good. All right, I'm gonna look at a deck that someone in the Discord on Blurple threw out. This is okay. This is quite similar, but he plays is this full 60? Yeah, 60 cards. He plays the full 4. Sorry, I don't see how Pete can be bad, but I guess Jafar was over. No, it's not that Pete the character. Pete is bad, like instead of Jafar, like for Jafar, it's more that the character itself not that great. Like the beat is good, the activation is good. It's more that if the meta is 50% aggro decks, then no one cares. And if the meta is 50% Ember Steel, then or Red Purple, then Pete is really good. So it's more that the meta or like the play styles of your opponent matters, like how good Pete is versus how the card itself. Well, for the far, it was more that the card itself wasn't that great. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna grab a drink, have a little break, and then we'll talk about the blue purple deck I've seen in the Discord, and then maybe try to make the Ember Steel deck actually. That's something I wanted to make before as well. So be right back. I'm running an ad just so pre-rolls get turned off, and an ad has to start in 10 seconds anyway, so why not? Um, If you're not seeing the ad, I'm gonna try, but it didn't work the last time. Yeah, it doesn't work, but I can copy the text. Yoink. All right, I'm back. Um, yeah, ads over. Nice. Uh, let's see. What do you want to say about this? So, um, he said he didn't like to, but I don't like having so many. Yeah, you don't need. Okay. So yeah, the thing is, playing to let go is not necessary. Where are the Hades? Right, yeah, I would definitely play Hades. Hades over let it go of the Anna. Um, maybe two Cusco is correct. I like three Ismas, but again, I think yeah he has 60 cards, so that makes sense. Like cutting the Isma is okay. Mm, so this is compared to us, where we played this, right? And so we play Elephant, but Elephant might not be necessary. Um, oh, yeah. So, oh, let's get this out of here. Right. So this is us. This is the one that we just made, and this is one from the Discord. So their idea was that there's going to be a lot of aggro decks, and I agree. And therefore, we might just want to play the full 8 1-drops, which we did in set 3 as well, pretty sure. Let's get my set 3 deck, which was actually a good deck, and like a good deck that could beat meta decks reliably. I almost got top 64 and deal with it, or top 120. Yeah, doesn't matter. Anyways, um, this is set 4. That one was nope. This is still set 4. I think it is this one. Should be Rowan Hood in it. Nope. Okay, this is not one. This is not the one I'm playing. I played. Mm, 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 mm. Huh. Did I delete it? This is already set 4. Oh, it's definitely not this one. Okay, well, it's kind of like this, but with like a Roman Hoods in it, so it's close enough. Um, yeah, it's close enough. So, the idea is, yeah, we played 8, we played like 62, 64, something like that. Like maybe 65 cards, something like this, something like that amount, and we played like 3 Hades, 2 Elsa, stuff like that. We played the full 4 Eastmaths, yeah. Um, I think I played 3 Cogsworth at Lille, yeah. And but I think we definitely played the full 8 1-drop. So that's something we played in set 3, where there was less hyper aggro. There's going to be more hyper aggro. I think a full 8 is definitely important. So then we can switch around some numbers again. He doesn't play Elephant. I think Elephant could be pretty good in a steel heavy meta. If it's not a steel heavy meta as it is, which if aggro is good, steel decks are good as an answer. So if you want to think about that, then I like the Elephant. Otherwise, you could got the Elephant. I think I like the 3 Elsas for the decks that do play Diablo, because else we don't really have any Diablo answers, and like until the late game, right? Until we get to the Hades and the let it goes, and then we don't really want to use a Hades and let it go on the Diablo. Like if it's a like a green steel deck, we want to use it on their Beast and the Ruminute, not really on the Diablo. Like the Elsa is for the Diablo, so I like 3 Elsa, and also it's also good against other aggro lists or whatever. You don't need to exert the thing you're going to attack with Elsa. You can exert something else, scale that with the goat, and then, for example, and then Elsa, another thing. like a bodyguard, for example. Like you kill the bodyguard with the bodyguard's probably already is already exerted. Well, anyways, doesn't matter. You can kill two things instead of one with playing Elsa. Okay, the rest is the same. Yep. So he doesn't play Magica. Magica could be bad, could be really good. Cusco as a 2 instead of 3 of is okay. And then, yeah. So I would not play the 2 Annas myself. I would not play the 2 Let It Goes. I would play 1 Anna, 1 Let It Go, and 2 Hades. And then I would play either 1 or 0 Lucky Dimes, not 2. Um, if you Mickey Mouse one of your 1 drops, that's okay. The 1 drops are not there to win you the game. They're not. It's not like the red blue item list. One of like my red blue items list, where if you don't get a lucky dime, you just lose. This is just like, okay, I play a lucky dime to get it from the Merlin, and if I don't have it in my deck anymore, then I know it's in my inkwell, and that's okay. Then I'll just grab something else. Then maybe I grab Mufasa. Maybe I grab Second Stars to Right if I can sing it immediately. Maybe I grab a Let It Go to kill something immediately. Maybe I grab Isma for later or Cusco. Maybe I even grab a friend since just sing a friend to just draw 2 cards. You could always do that. You could get a Hades for next turn or an Else for next turn. You could play Ursula. You could even get a rabbit if you haven't died a rabbit yet, or another bounce card if you need a bounce card, or a goat to like end the game if you're at that point of the game already. Uh, you can always get another Merlin, but that's not really what you're supposed to do. But you could always get another Merlin, shift it again, get something else, and then let's say you have only a goat on the field, you can shift Merlin. I guess rather you just want to get a rabbit. Yeah, never mind. I don't really see the need to get a Merlin from a Merlin, but there could be situations where you want to shift so you get an extra 2 ink cost so you can sing second star to the right, but then that would mean you only have a crab, right? So you have to ink it on a crab and then play another crab and then shift it on a crab and then play second star to the right. But that's such a niche scenario that I don't think it will ever happen in a game. But it could happen. Like if you're playing 4 Merlin crabs in a 60 card list, then it might be a little bit more relevant. But no. But yet this deck definitely has its weaknesses. I think it's better than this version, but they're pretty similar, right? Uh, we played 18 Inkables and 60 cards. I played 20 Inkables and 66. So what his ratio is 18 divided by 60, so 30%. My ratio is a little bit higher, but zero like three 0.3% higher. So we have a little bit of worse ratio, but it's basically the same. So that's fine. Um, yeah, it's okay. I think I like my version better, but it's really close. If you like more 2-offs, and like let's say you drew the Let It Go, so you can't get it again, or let's say you inked it from the Mickey Mouse and you can't get it again, and you'd like to have 2 Let It Go, that can happen. If you don't like the second slider to the right, you just don't play the second slider to the right. Um, but yeah, I like I like my version more, but that's obviously because I make it myself. So I tailor it to my wants and needs, right? So other people have their own preferences. So we'll try to keep these in, but it could be that if I launch my computer tomorrow, then they will be gone. But yeah, I can't make the images for some reason, so it's a little bit unfortunate. All right, let's make Ember Steel now. So we want Ariel, 4 of this, and 4 Whole New World. Let's just take that to get the Ember Steel. And we'll look at set 5. So I think Naveen is really good. Some people say it's overrated. Some people say it's maybe even underrated, but I think it's really good, and I'm gonna try to get play 4. Maybe that's too much, but for now we'll try to play 4. Uh, Basically all the other cards are completely useless, except for this one over the Gaston. Um, and maybe the Kristoff. And we're definitely playing for Daisy Duck, but that's it, I think. Yeah, that's it for set 4. No, set 5 for yellow. It's still not that bad, but not an insane amount of new cards. And mm, and for steel, we want maybe like 2 Simbas and 4 Pete's. Yeah, I think that's pretty fair for set 5, but we're already at 14 rankables, so we kind of have to look at that. So Prince and Fiend, I think that, yeah, I think that Kristoff might be a little bit too memey. That's good. Let's play. Let's try to make it like a little bit more normal. Like this inkable thing is gonna be a problem. So for set 4, right now I'm really enjoying the golden harps. But obviously with Daisy Duck that might not be necessary anymore. But I'll put them in now. Well, actually, yeah, with Daisy Duck it's just not necessary anymore, just at all. Just play the Daisy Ducks. Um, it's much better turn 1 play. So it's probably 3 Ursulas. And then, is there any steel card we play? Don't think so. No, no steel card we play. Like, there are not many cards in set 4 that are playable. Like for this one, we're just literally playing one set 4 card, which is Ursula Vanessa. But that's okay. Like the deck is still good on its own. Um, I think 3 bare necessities is good enough. And for steel, the Robin Hoods and Zeus, 3 Zeus. Okay. So right now we're at 15 uninkables and 43. 43 cards, 4 Cinderellas. We don't need to get stunned anymore because we have the Gazelle. And why is this in? Okay. Yeah, we don't play the Queen version. We play like maybe 2 World Creating on the Mind. We play Beast. Play. Oh, don't we need to play? Do we need to play Benja? When we have the Simba? Maybe not. Maybe not anymore. Um, two big Cindy's. And then for 4. So already over 60. We haven't even gone to set 1 cards, which are quite a lot of set 1 cards, right? Because we want to play. The Ariel's already in there, right? Yeah, the Ariel's already in there. You want to play 3 up bundles. And like 2 things and 2 grabs. Maybe 3 grabs actually. Yeah. Okay. I think this is my pretty normal ever steal list, something like this. Obviously without the new set 4 cards. So we're right now at 71. The idea of beat is that it's good in the mirror. Like it just completely shuts off your opponent in the mirror. If they don't have it, it's just over. Um, there's a lot of one drops, but I think it's okay. We're an aggro deck, kind of, right? Uh, Prison of Veen, 4 Prison of Veen might be a little bit too much. Maybe you just don't play Criminal Mind anymore. Maybe we play 1 Criminal Mind. Maybe 2 Zeus because we play the extra grab. Maybe, And then the Vanessa becomes worse because we don't play that many Zeuses anymore. So maybe we cut the Vanessa this time. Although now we don't have any 2-drops. Oh wait, we missed. We definitely have to play Smee. Whoops. Okay. Yeah, definitely play Smee. So now we're at 69 cards. Jesus. I have to take a look at um, I have to take a look at a list for Ember Steel because I sent it to someone, but there was a Wowchuk's version of Ember Steel, and I really, really like it. But it's is it here? Okay, let me just take a look in the normal Ember Steelsong list. Okay. So, okay. He plays. So Wow, I'm playing Wowchuk's version. If I would play something like this, so he plays this. Obviously you're changing the golden harps for Daisy, and then we're playing Gazelles over Gaston. He plays for Rapunzel. And then we have to. Okay, and he plays only one grab, but I think grab is more important, and we can like switch those with the Zeuses. This is hard. How many songs do you want to play? Like at least 18. Okay, we're at 21, so that's good. That's enough. He plays. This is 12, 13, 14, 22. So he plays 22, 21. Like because we don't play harp, it's okay. What 10 are we cutting? Maybe you play like 2 of these. You want as many singers as possible. Maybe you play. Let's see. Uh, Maybe you don't play things. Yeah, okay. We don't play things. Let's remove those. Does he play Benjas? He doesn't play Benjas, so we can also just remove the Simba then. That's another 2. Okay, now we have 20 inks. That's too many. So we need to try to cut like a few inks. But okay, maybe 2 Prince Naveen and then the 4 Daisies, and then we shift around a little bit here. Can we do that? Nope, not really. Oh, there's gonna be a lot of ininkables in this deck. Like this one plays. These are all inkable. These are all inkable. So this one only plays 16, 17 on inks, and we have 19. So we have 2 extra on inks. But that's because like with Prince Naveen and stuff like that. So that's a little bit of a risk you're running, or well, a little bit, a lot of risk you're running. but it could be worth it. I'm just not sure what the hell you're cutting. Like maybe one Rapunzel, one Gazelle, one Pete. Now you're at 60. We don't really want to cut any songs. Maybe you only play two Petes. Because it's only for the mirror. It's only for the mirror. Because other steel decks will play Pete to combat this deck. I guess it's also for like red purple, but for red purple you have bare necessities, and other like purple steel doesn't have that. So, hmm. I mean, we already have two Naveen, so maybe you can just play two Gazelle, two Pete. Right, that's 60. Okay. And then it's a little bit more aggro with the Daisy Duck over the Golden Harp. So you kind of want to play Daisy Duck on turn one. Or Cindy on turn one. Ink, Smee, play Daisy Duck, something like that. That could happen against other decks. You want to in the mirror, you want to play Smee. Maybe don't. Yeah, you just hope you don't draw the Daisy Ducks. And against like red, blue, and stuff like that, you want the Daisy Duck over the Cinderella. Okay. I like the 60. I like it a lot actually. The 19 innings is a little bit of a problem with this, and you might just not play any beats at all, and just like play the full four gazettes. That's something you could do. But otherwise, or like three gazettes, four Rapunzel, something like that. But otherwise, I like it. Because we're playing less, we're only playing two Zeuses. We don't need to play the Ursula, and we kind of have the Ursula with the Prince Naveen, right? Or like this, we can always play a Zeus with the Prince Naveen, or play World, or Grab Your Sword. Because I think Grab Your Sword will become more important, but if Grab Your Sword is less important, you can go back to 4 Zeus, 1 Grab, um, cut the Prince Naveen, cut the Pete's, and play 4 Ursula, 4 2-drop Ursula. So there are definitely a lot of options in Ember Steel. This could be a pretty good baseline, but it really depends. Like maybe Cinderella's not necessary anymore. Obviously, it's a really good card against green steel. But the green steel, well, if you can shift. Um, Hard casting is a little bit harder, um, unless you top deck well. But yeah, maybe it's a little bit. But again, in the mirror, it's really good. But 19 in Inkables is really risky. So yeah, we'll see. Something like this you could probably expect in set five. Not the full 60 like this, obviously, but something with Daisy, Ember Steel with Daisy Duck, maybe Pete's for the mirror, a few Naveens, maybe a full four, and then a song package that kind of looks like this, like this full four strength, four Let Stormrage on, probably three Barrels as you want Criminal Mind, and then five of these in the sum combination, and then four Holy Worlds. All right, that's the final list of today, I think. We had a long ass day. We played, or well, we didn't play. We made Blurple first, then we made a Mail deck and a Purple Steel, and now this one, the Ember Steel deck. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what the hell set 5 is gonna all be about. I think the full release comes today actually, or is it tomorrow? Maybe even today. The full release might come today or tomorrow, of all the cards. So that would be very nice. That would be very, yeah. Oh yeah, today, kind of today slash tomorrow, depending on what your well, Yeah, what your time zone is if you're from Australia, it's today, but I guess it's the 29th of July, and right now for me it is almost 2 a.m. on the 29th of July. So for me, it's kind of like today. The other cards will be released. I'll probably do a stream and talk about every card that we haven't seen yet, and make a video about it as well on YouTube. I've already made a video on YouTube discussing every uh, spoiler card on that at that moment. Not a lot of extra cards came were new. I think the most important new card that I didn't talk about was Prince Naveen, but otherwise I think I talked about every card. Um, I'll try to make sure um, to upload this VOD on YouTube as soon as possible and get the deck lists going on. But again, I had some issues exporting the deck lists, so that might not work. But we'll see. Thank you guys all for watching. I'll check if there's someone to raid. Um, is there someone to raid? No, we are the only one online. Okay, well that sucks. Okay, well I guess no one we don't raid anyone and we just stop the stream here. All right. Thank you guys all for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow. Yep. See ya.